Katie Marshnow, and I am an intern this summer for the Indiana Beef Council, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make some steak fajitas. So first, what I've done, we're using flank steak for this recipe. So flank steak can be a tough cut of meat, so what I've done is marinate the steak overnight. And for the marinade, what you're going to want to use is about 2 tablespoons of lime juice, a packet of fajita seasoning, and about a 1/4 cup of water. So I just combined all that in this plastic baggie, and we recommend that you let it marinate for about 6 hours at least. I chose overnight since it's a more tough cut of steak. It's also super easy to prepare for the next day. So this I have let set overnight, so it's ready to go now. So you can use an indoor grill, an outdoor grill, whatever you have on hand. Today I'm going to be using the Storage Foreman grill, just as resources offered. So I let this preheat, and now we're going to get cooking. Okay. Places. And then you can just discard the marinade. Since we've had raw meat in it, it's not safe to use anymore. So we're going to go ahead and finish that. So along with our fajitas today, you can cook some vegetables. We recommend peppers and onions. So what that is I have 1 small onion cut up here that I have sauteed in a pan, and also 2 peppers. You can use green, red, yellow, orange, any of your choosing. So I've chose to do a green and red today. So if you have an outdoor grill, you can also grill these, and then cut them up after you grill them. Since we don't have an actual grill here, I went ahead and cut them and sauteed them with a little bit of butter and salt. So those we will also put on our fajita at the end. So back to this cooking. You're going to want this cook for about 7 to 8 minutes for medium rare. You also want a desired temperature about 145 for safe cooking, safe eating, and then also about 160 if you want a more medium cook. So let this go for a few more minutes. So the reason we can cook this meat to a lower temperature versus hamburger, which we have to cook to a higher temperature, is due to the E. coli bacteria. So E. coli is a surface bacteria, so when we cook a full cut of meat like this flank steak here, the outside of the meat is going to touch the exterior of the grill, which will kill the bacteria almost immediately, and none of that bacteria will have gotten internally into the meat. Whereas when we cook a hamburger, and hamburger is ground beef of various cuts, so the E. coli can get in the center and the exterior, whereas, like I said, the steak would only be on the exterior. So we need to cook it to 160 degrees internally. That way we can ensure all the E. coli is killed and it is safe for human consumption. Alright, let's see if our steak is done. Okay, so I'm going to use a meat thermometer to check the internal temperature of the meat. So just going to lift it up a little. And then you're going to want to put it in more horizontally. That way you don't get the top or the bottom of the steak, which will be hotter due to the grill. Okay, and it is about 150, so we are good. Like I said, if you like your steak more on the medium rare side. Okay. And now I'm going to let the steak rest for a few minutes. And what this does, resting your steak just lets the meat kind of reabsorb those juices that it produced while cooking. So without cutting into it, we're not going to kind of let those juices spill out. We're going to let those reabsorb into those pockets within the tissue, and that will maintain tenderness, flavor, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to cover this with foil, and we're going to let this sit for about 2 to 4 minutes. Okay, so now while the steak rests, I'm going to turn off the grill, clean it real quick, and then I'm going to toast my tortilla shells. That way they're warm and a little bit crispy for our fajitas. Just going to take these and put a couple on there. and these should only take a couple minutes to get warm and toasty. So while those get warmer, we're just gonna cut our fajitas, or our steak, sorry. So I'm gonna take the foil off now that it's been resting. And as you can see, some juices have collected, so that's a good sign. So I'm going to cut this lengthwise first, and then we're going to cut it into smaller pieces. So now to cut this lengthwise, I'm just going to cut it at a diagonal angle downward to make sure we get some smaller, more tender pieces. Don't want huge pieces for these since we will be putting them in a tortilla and adding some other things, so it's okay if you have some smaller pieces. Alright, looks good. Now I'm going to check on the tortillas. And those look good. It's getting warm and just a little bit toasty, which is exactly what we want. And those look good. So I'm just going to take those off the grill. Plate our fajitas, so tortilla, and grab some of our fajita meat. Not too much if you use smaller shells, and then I'm just going to get some peppers and onions. Alright, and there you go, a steak fajita. And for this recipe and more, you can go to beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Thank you for watching.